Hello everyone, welcome back to Beck's Flavour. So today I'll be teaching you how to make jollof rice, Ghana jollof rice, the best jollof rice in the world. Yes, I said it. Please make sure to subscribe, like and share, hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of my uploads. Also comment below and leave some lovely message behind. So let's get into today's cooking. Here are the list of ingredients that we will be needing to make our jollof rice. I will list everything and the measurements in the description below, so be sure to check that out. So we want to start off by cooking our tomatoes first alone separately. So this will make sure that when you're doing so, it will not splash whilst it's in the stew. So you blend your tomatoes and your bell peppers together to be ready to cook by itself before you start the stew. Once everything is blended, you place it in your pan and you make sure that it's cooked and simmered down and ready to be put in your stew later on. Also add your bay leaves into the stew. Bay leaves gives this a nice smell and a nice taste to your stew, so be sure to add your bay leaves into the tomatoes whilst it's cooking. So when your tomato is done, it would have been reduced in size and it will also thicken up. That's when you know that your tomato is cooked and is ready to be put in the stew later on. So now we go into our meat. You add all the seasoning into it, which will be in the description as well with the measurements, so make sure that you check that out. So after you add all your seasoning, add a bit of water and leave it to cook for about 10-15 minutes. So this took about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I'm checking on my meat and it looks lovely, and I'll just cover it and wait to cook again. After a while, your meat is all cooked and ready to just put aside and waiting to be fried. Now we place the meat in our heated oil in a pan to be fried. I also chop up big chunks of my onions to put in the meat. I know this is the tip that I'm giving you today. When you put in your onions in the meat whilst the meat is frying, it will ensure that your stew is going to taste amazing, because the onions releases natural sugars when it's fried. So after it's fried, you're going to blend it and add it to your stew. Trust me on this process, it's going to make your stew taste amazing. Try it. If you've never tried it, you will testify to it. Leave a comment below if this is something you knew or something you didn't know about. Let me know if you tried it, how it went for you. So make sure you keep stirring everything together so it's evenly cooked and evenly fried on both sides. So after your onions is fried golden brown, you take it out of the oil and place it into your blender to be blended with the other stuff. Now that your meat is also cooked and fried and ready, take it out of your oil and place aside, ready to join the rice later on. And there you have it. Just just be sure you're not tempted to eat all the meat before it gets into it. So now I've got my onions, my ginger, my pepper, my garlic. I'm going to add it all into the blender and blend everything smoothly together. Be sure to use not too much water when blending this, so you're going to have to shake the blender up a little bit as I'm doing now, just to make sure that everything is blended together using as little water as possible. Now I'm just going to reduce my oil because I have too much oil for my rice. I don't want it to be too oily, so just reduce some oil, and I'm adding in my tomato paste into the oil. Stir everything together, make sure everything is nice and smooth. I then add my blended fried onions and the ginger and the garlic and everything else also into the mixture. Make sure you stir together and make sure it doesn't get burnt, because you know it can have the tendency to get burned really quickly. So just lower the heat a little bit. Here I'm just going to be adding my seasoning, which is also in the description below. I'll also place a picture there so you know exactly what seasoning I'm using. Now this flavor enhancer is the best thing, guys. Try it. You can find it in your local Asian store. That's where I got mine from. It just makes sure that all the seasoning, everything that you put in the stew comes out. It just brings the beauty of everything together, you know. So try it, definitely worth trying. So now this is all done, all cooked. You see how smooth and lovely everything is looking. And you're ready to add in your tomatoes, which is already cooked. So this will be a short process, okay, so you don't have to deal with all the splashing. See, our stew is all cooked. So you add your rice now to your tomato stew. I don't tend to wash my rice because I quite like the starchy effect to it, but you can wash your rice if that's what you like. Absolutely fine, and it's completely up to you. So you see, you have to make a balance in the rice and the stew. You don't want to have too much rice, you don't also want to have too less rice. So like so, everything is nicely balanced. Do make sure that you add your stock, so the stock of the meat into the rice. This is where all the flavor is going to come from. Most of the flavor is going to come from. This is what's going to make your jollof rice great, okay, from good to great. So add the stock of your meat into your rice. Mix everything together. I then add a bit of salt. This up to you, so taste your food, and however you want your salt, just add a bit more salt to it if you need. And then I add hot water, so not cold water, I add hot water because it's already hot. I want to keep everything on the same temperature. I don't want to drop it for the rice to get soggy. So you add hot boiling water into it, just a little bit. Remember, you can always add more water, you can never take out the water, okay? So add a little water. If you need more later, you can always add some. Then cover it up in the foil, because the heat is what's going to help you cook your rice quicker and evenly. So you cover everything up so the heat can cook the rice for you, not necessarily the water. After about 10 minutes, I'm going to check up on the rice and see how it's doing. It's looking great so far. So you can see that there is still water and moisture in the rice, so no need to add water. Don't be tempted to think that it's looking dry, so you want to add water. Like I said, it is the heat that is going to cook your rice, not water. But if you like, you know, wet consistency, it's up to you. You can add more water if you like. Then after about another 10-15 minutes, I'm just checking on my rice again, and I can see that the water is being reduced down. And this is the point where I'm going to add my meat, because I don't want to add my meat when there's still water in the rice, because it's just going to make my meat very soggy, and I don't want to have soggy meat. I want it to still have the crunch that I had when I fried it. So when all the water is sort of dried down, that's when you add the meat. And this is hubby, of course, getting some meat out of the pan as usual. So now your jollof rice is completely done. Look at how fluffy and nice it is, and it's all coming together. I'm sure you can smell that through the screen, right? Yeah, can you? No? Well, make sure you follow this video and make your own Ghana jollof rice, okay? And here you are, your jollof is all done, the best jollof in the world. Let me know if you tried this recipe in the comment section below, how it all went. Be sure to come back next time for another amazing time with Beck's Flavour. Please subscribe, like and share. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss me again, and leave a comment below. I'll see you next time. Bye.